Texas All-Star Wrestling, the excitement about to begin. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got a lot of great matches lined up for today. Of course, we told you last week that coming from world-class wrestling would be Mr. Gary Hart, and he has formed a new association with Texas All-Star Wrestling's El Madril. They have formed the largest professional wrestling camp ever, and these two guys are going to be ruling not only Texas, but the world, they say. Gary Hart, welcome to Texas All-Star Wrestling.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be associated with El Madril. And I want to say that El Madril searched long and far, as you well know, through the WWF, the AWA, the NWA, the Mid-South, Atlanta, talked to numerous managers who would best fit the plan that El Madril has came up with to establish a wrestling organization that would be unbeatable. And I appreciate the fact that when it came down to the final decision, you've invited me in to be part of your business, brother. And I want you to know all of my resources, all of my time, and all of my energy will be to accomplish what you and I want, to make Texas the hotbed of wrestling and to show everyone that world-class and Texas All-Star is the only solid wrestling in the world today.
Do you gentlemen realize that Skandor Akbar is here with us today?
Why? What is he doing here? What has he got to do?
Well, I understand that you kind of double-crossed Skandor Akbar.
That's none of your business, Stack.
What is this? I don't know. It's a double-cross. Something to have to do about the fire.
What fire are you talking about? I never threw fire in my life.
You asking a man questions now. Give us what you've heard.
Well, you'll have
what are you, a rumor monger?
Later on. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, coming up, the $5,000 challenge, the Russian against Nick Janinski, right after this.
Time limit. From Albany, Georgia, weighing 229 3/4 pounds, the USA Junior Heavyweight Champion, the Georgia Strongman, Dale Vesey. His opponent hails from Bull Verde, Texas, weighing 242 pounds, Cowboy Scott Casey.
The Cowboy Scott Casey from Bull Verde, just a few miles outside of San Antonio, Texas, of Bell Sound. And here with me is the General himself, General Skandor Akbar. Welcome back to Texas and Texas All-Star Wrestling.
Well, it's nice to be back at Texas All-Star Wrestling. And basically, I'm here for two reasons. And one is my original intention was to come back to Texas All-Star Wrestling because I believe that this is the new era, the new Mecca, the new hotbed in professional wrestling. And, of course, the General, the greatest manager of them all. I have the stable of the most awesome athletes the world over. That means the reappearance of Kamala. And the second reason I want to get in, you know, Gary Hart
They seemed
and Al, they were worried, and they should be, because it was I, and I alone, who introduced Al Madril to the Fires, the Mystic Five. The next thing I know, when our back is turned, his allegiance with Gary Hart is well known. And you know, Gary Hart is an arch enemy of mine. You know, it's a misconception that people believe that Hart and I are friends. That goes back a long time ago. When the General's on the scene, you know, I don't waste time. My time is too valuable. I'm an extremely wealthy man. And I saw a lot of Al Madril. But the only thing I see now is a typical Mexican double-crosser. And I'm going to make it so hot for you, Madril, that you wish you had never seen General Akbar.
In the ring, it's Dale Vesey against the Cowboy Scott Casey. Look at Casey take the arm down, goes the Georgia Strongman. And, I think he might have grabbed the hair to put Casey in that head scissors. He didn't keep it long.
Of course, we all know Scott Casey's been around for a while. But now Dale Vesey is a vastly improved wrestler since I've seen him last. I was in another area with Dale Vesey, and I can see that this man is coming along. Scott Casey, certainly he's a great athlete, but you know, on any given day, an upset can happen.
Right, and you're listening to the voice of the General Skandor Akbar from Mid-South, and here lately from up in the AWA.
ESPN, AWA, we've been all over, of course, and I can't say enough for Kamala. There's one thing that I would like to say. My latest acquisition of Devastation Incorporated is none other than the most underrated wrestler ever to appear on Texas All-Star Wrestling, and that's Hacksaw Higgins. Yes, that's right. Hacksaw Higgins is now under the tutorship of the mighty General.
I understand Hacksaw is currently campaigning in Japan as we watch Veazey go over the top. He goes underneath as Casey went high in the air. Oh, and it's Veazey has Casey up.
Great move by Veazey. Great move by Dale Veazey.
He's got Casey down. Here's the count.
Almost, as I say,
Back to Hacksaw Higgins. He is in Japan, I
he
understand.
is in Japan now, training with one of my informants and one of my comrades in Japan, and he's learning the most devastating martial arts, or nerve hold, or whatever you want to call it. You have to see it, and people here in Texas All-Star Wrestling will see a new Hacksaw Higgins because the General's got him.
Understand it. Hacksaw Higgins is about 310 pounds now.
And he is solid. And, of course, you know, all it takes, I saw the material, and I saw the cunning, the tenacity within this man, and I know exactly how to bring this thing out, Steve Sachs. And you're going to see Hacksaw Higgins. Oh,
I thought Casey had the pin as he had the shoulders of the Georgia strongman Dale Veazey down. I want to remind all you youngsters watching that wherever Texas All-Star Wrestling is held, general admission section, all children under the age of 12, only $3 to come out and enjoy professional wrestling. And yet to come later today, the 5,000 5-minute challenge, the Russian Korchenko against Nick Kiniski.
You know, one other thing about Gary Hart, while we're on this subject, you know, Gary Hart, I know Gary Hart from a long time ago. And I know that the people that this man is associated when he was in Chicago, just coming up in the professional wrestling ranks. And I know what a rotten individual, all right? You say the General's rotten, the money talks in this business.
I know Gary Hart is a very quiet, but he is a very sly individual.
That's a good way to put it, Steve Sachs. But you know, when the General's on the scene, people stand up and they start taking notes. They listen, just like the well-known financier. When he talks, everybody listens, and that's the way the General is.
Here goes Veazey taking Casey, whips him into the turnbuckle. Oh, and Casey caught an elbow as he come out of there. Here's the count. It's 1, 2. The referee started down for that 3 count. Casey kicked out. The Georgia strongman, the Cowboy, Scott Casey. Casey with a nice fireman's carry there on the Georgia strongman.
One thing about the Georgia strongman, he will wrestle you. He will wrestle you.
Well, Casey will wrestle you, too. You've had your battles with the Cowboy.
Oh, yes. Now, Scott Casey and I go back a long ways. But I can tell you this right now, that this Georgia strongman is really improved. I hate to keep hitting on that, Steve Sachs. I know that Scott Casey is a great athlete, too. You have to be great to be on Texas All-Star Wrestling.
And it's good to have the General here, and we look forward to seeing Kamala. We look for the new Hacksaw Higgins, and there's another man I want to talk to the General about later on. I want to save that for right now as I watch Casey try to pull that arm out of that socket of the Georgia strongman.
Oh, that's a terrific hold. That's a hold that goes a long way back in professional wrestling. You know, you've got a lot of leverage with this particular type of hold. And if you fans don't believe this hold hurts, you try it on yourself sometime. Scott Casey definitely has the advantage right now, Steve.
Casey holding on to Georgia strongman, keeping up the right shoulder. That way there's no count on him. As Casey has those knees, those feet buried up underneath the arm, one on the shoulder, one on the head, and look at him pull that arm.
The way you have to do this, the Georgia strongman has to be awfully careful. He has to be tremendously cautious not to get his shoulders pinned when he goes back down. And he's
look at the strongman using the rope. He's using the rope. Casey is down. The referee stopped by Casey grabbing his arm. The Georgia strongman, back down he goes.
Well, sometimes you have to win at all costs. You know, the Georgia strongman has to be extremely cautious at all times because he's in there with a veteran. Scott Casey has the years. You've got to admit that, Steve Sachs. He has got the years and experience on the Georgia strongman. However, this Veazey is giving Scott Casey all he can handle. You have to agree with that.
There's Veazey coming out. He takes that boot right under the eyes, and then he kicks him in the shoulder. Veazey in front. Veazey has Casey up. Oh, he throws Casey off. Throw him over. Here goes Veazey for the pin. He may have it this time, and it's just a 2 count.
Just a 2 count. Scott Casey indeed was lucky on that one.
Scott Casey catches a forearm. He catches another one. He comes back with a fist. Veazey exchanges blows with it as the 2 men punching it out. Look at Casey. Takes Veazey by the arm, whips him across. No, it's a reversal. Clothesline, he missed. Oh, there's the flying lariat. The flying lariat. That's all over. Well, that just shows you how the old pro can turn it around.
That's exactly right. You know, I think Dale Veazey, the Georgia strongman, thought he had it, Steve Sachs, and all of a sudden, it's all over.
General, We're going to get Cowboy Scott Casey up here now, and we may be talking to you in just a little bit, so if you'll just step off for just a moment. Here comes the Cowboy Scott Casey as the General Skandor Akbar begins to lead. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, coming up later on, the 5-minute, $5,000 challenge. Nick Kiniski trying to take the $5,000 away from the Russian Korchenko. That's yet to come. Scott Casey. I know you just had a tough match, Scott, but I also know that you promised me that you were going to give me all the information that you can about what happened with Fantasy as she disappeared here last week.
What transpired, Rapido, Steve, is this. Mike Golden, the Golden Boy, David Peterson, and David's younger brother, Jim, grew up together. They were inseparable. They've been friends. I've known them a long time. They all three broke into wrestling out on the East Coast. I mean, these guys were something else. They were just like three peas in a pod. One night, Jim was coming home from a match and had a head-on collision, and his spinal cord has been severely damaged. We don't know if he'll ever walk again or not. Now, Mike Golden, being the guy that he is, the snake in the grass, saw an opportunity because he's seen a lot of other wrestlers use pretty valets.
Right.
Now, Fantasy, that's the name we're going to use. I know her real name, but I'm not going to say it, was coached by Mike to be his valet, so Mike could bring himself up that ladder of professional wrestling. It's very simple.
The valet for Fantasy was Jim's wife?
That's right. She was Jimmy's wife. This went on for some time, and David was out on the East Coast looking. I call him David. His name is David the Hitman Patterson. You'll understand why Hitman when you see him wrestle. He went to the East Coast, Florida, Atlanta. Finally, I met him in world-class wrestling up in Dallas. A lot of people have seen me wrestle him or against him, with him. And he asked me, he said, man, I've been looking for Mike and Fantasy for months. And I said, I know where they're at. They're down here at Texas All-Star, down here in San Antonio, Texas. He said, that's all I've got to know. And he got kind of a cold look in his face, man, and I knew what was happening because I knew what was in the background and what was in his mind. The next thing you know, here comes David. He comes to the ring, and I know now that Fantasy's home with her husband, Jimmy. Let me tell you something, Mike Golden. I've known David for a few months, not as long as you have, mind you, but I've known him long enough to know when the Hitman comes back, Lord better take mercy on your soul because, brother, he's going to wipe you off the face of the earth. What it boils down to, gentlemen, is he stole another man's wife. Mike Golden, he took Jimmy's wife. The man is paralyzed. What more can you say about it? That's the bottom line.
Thank you very much, Scott, for that information. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The man who showed up at ringside was a hitman, David Patterson, and he took his brother's wife back home. Well, this story will continue, I'm sure, but there's another exciting match coming up right after this here on Texas All-Star Wrestling.
Time limit. This is a handicap match. Introducing from parts unknown, weighing 278 pounds, the Assassin. And his partner from Fort Worth, Texas, weighing 259 pounds, Jack Dillon. Their opponent from Huntington, West Virginia, standing 6 foot 8 inches, weighing 431 pounds, Big Bubba.
Bubba has appeared here on Texas All-Star Wrestling in a handicap match. Both men in at the ring at the same time. And speaking of big men, General Akbar, look at the size of
I am impressed. I will say I give credit where credit is due, Steve Stacks. However, Big Bubba has not yet faced the likes of Kamala.
Looky here. One going for the side headlock. Bubba just picks him up, throws him down. Here goes the other one to the side headlock, the Assassin. Bubba has him up, and I want you to know that these two men weigh over 540 pounds combined. They're 100 and some pounds heavier than Big Bubba.
Very, very impressive. But as I said before, my man Kamala has defeated Crusher Blackwell, Big John Studd, Andre the Giant. The list goes on. King Kong Bundy. The list goes on and on and on.
But he has not met Big Bubba.
Well, as I said, the reappearance of Kamala is right around the corner.
Look at him. He is picking up 265 pounds like I would pick up the trash can to empty.
As I said, I will give credit where credit is due to a certain extent. He still has not faced Kamala.
Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, coming up later on, the $5,000 5-minute challenger Russian against Nick Kiniski. That's still to come here at Texas All-Star Wrestling.
Another name that always resurfaces when Kamala's on the scene. I'm talking about Bruiser Brody. You know, I better not see Brody in any one of these arenas because he knows exactly what Kamala gave them in their last meeting. And, you know, there's a lot of torture to dish yet. Oh, yes.
Look here, two men on Big Bubba trying to power him down. They hadn't got him moved yet. Now, both of them over 500 and almost 550 pounds, and Bubba just throws them down.
Quite impressive, quite impressive. What would a Herculean arm or chest like that measure, Steve Sachs?
25-inch arm.
Well, that is indeed big.
6
You know, I've seen a lot of oak trees come down, Steve Sachs.
Well, then, speaking of oak trees, they're trying to do it right here. This is the way you would chop down an oak tree, right? You'd go for the bottom. There goes one man loose. Bubba takes the forearm. There goes the other one off. And Big Bubba is really taking care of himself in this match against two men. Now he has Jack Dillon up. Throws him down. Here goes the assassin.
Of course, the assassin and Dillon's attempts have been somewhat futile, as you can see. Now, this is a very, very impressive man, this Big Bubba.
Now he takes Dillon. I hope you're taking all this information down for Kamala. There goes Dillon. Clothesline. Down he goes. Now Big Bubba goes after the assassin. Dillon's been clotheslined. Bubba has the assassin. Whoa, what a forearm across the chest. Dillon rolls out of the ring. Look at that chop. Another forearm. And there's another forearm. Oh, this Bubba is wild tonight. There's another clothesline, and down goes the assassin. What's this, General? What a splash.
Splash, yes, indeed.
1, 2, 3, and Big Bubba takes care of two men here on Texas All-Star Wrestling.
Indeed. Yes, once again, I don't like to be repetitious.
Wait a minute. Look here comes El Madrill and Killer Brooks. They're yelling in at Big Bubba.
Oh, yes.
Hey, they said, oh, you beat two men, but you can't beat us. Those weren't two men. We're the men you need to beat. Here comes Madrill up.
This could be interesting, Steve Sachs.
Could be very interesting here.
Interesting. Let's watch.
Madrill's in the ring. He's trying to get Bubba to come after him. Oh, Bubba's got him in the corner. Here comes Brooks. With a knee to the back. Hey, he's got those fists taped. Killer Brooks with a taped fist.
Here comes that oak tree. That oak tree's coming down right now, Steve Sachs. That oak tree's coming down.
Here comes Big Bubba. He's making his way back up. Madrill's holding the hair. Brooks is laying him on the jaw, in the chest. Madrill is still hard on. Big Bubba's up again. They whip Big Bubba into the rope. Double clothesline. There goes Big Bubba down. Now Madrill's yelling up there. Oh, he may have beat those two, but he can't beat us.
Do you realize that one of the participants, Killer Brooks, has taped fists?
Taped fists. That's just like those two. They're getting out of the ring right now. Madrill's still happy saying he can't beat him. And I want to tell you what. Look at Bubba. El Madrill and Killer Brooks better look out if they ever have to meet Bubba one-on-one. Bubba is bad. No doubt about it. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. The $5,000 5-minute challenge is coming up next. Bergstrom Air Force Base here in Austin, Texas, Friday, November the 29th at 8 o'clock. A lot of great matches, one of them with international flavor as the American Force takes on the Japanese Force, who are the All-Asian Tag Team Champions. Paul Diamond.
Thank you, Steve. Well, as the people know, we've been feuding with the hoods all over Texas, and now there's the Japanese Force. Can you believe the audacity of Al Madrill to steal our name and put on some foreigners? That kind of makes me hot. I know it makes Sean hot. So, let me tell you something, Japanese boys. When we get up there to Bergstrom Air Force Base, we're Texans. We're Americans. This is our state, our country. There's no way you're just coming in here to embarrass us. We're going to take care of business the best we know how. Whatever it takes, the American Force is going to come out on top.
Shawn Michaels.
Steve, everybody knows that you've seen all the rest. The American Force is still here and still the best.
It's Texas All-Star Wrestling, Bergstrom Air Force Base. Gentlemen, Nick Kiniski is in the ring. We're waiting for the Russian Korchenko to appear. General, this is a $5,000 5-minute challenge. Wait a minute, the referee, General, is going back to the dressing room. The Russian is not here. We'll have to wait and see what's happening.
Well, am I correct in assuming that the Russian is affiliated in some way with Al Madril?
Yes, he
well,
is.
Now you question the credibility of Al Madril.
Well,
just like
just a minute,
another
General.
Mexican. Now he's backsliding right out of his own deal.
We're going to walk down to ringside, and we'll be right back with you, General, to see if we can find out what's going on with Al Madril and his Russian. The Russian has not appeared. As we go over here, Al Madril. The Russian is scheduled for a $5,000 5-minute challenge. He is not here.
Don't worry about it. He's on his way, Stack. He will be here, and that's all you got to know, and that's all these people got to know. He'll be here in a minute.
Okay, Nick Kiniski. We can get Nick over here in just a moment. Nick, we've just been informed the Russian hasn't arrived yet, but he is on his way. We'll have that match a little later on today.
Well, Steve, I'll stay in my gear. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for that $5,000. I think I earn it, and I'm ready to go, and I'll just stay dressed, ready for the Russian if he shows up.
Thank you very much, Nick. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have that 5-minute, $5,000 challenge later on. But right now, let's pick up our special Texas All-Star Wrestling close-up with Gary Hart and American Ninja. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our Texas All-Star Wrestling close-up today is something a little different than we've been having. This is Gary Hart, who has brought with him the American Ninja, who is one of the most skilled martial arts experts anywhere in the world. Gary Hart.
Former United States Marine Corps, First Lieutenant, Vietnam, 2 different combat zones, 2 tours, a great American. A lot of people realize that I have brought many Asians into this country, such Asians as the great Kabuki, such Asians as Pak Song Nam, such Asians as Professor Tora Tanaka. But beyond a shadow of a doubt, there is not an American in the entire world that is as good and as impressive with Japanese karate and Nukai karate anywhere in the world.
Understand the man is born in West Texas, served 2 tours in Vietnam, and he was curling 100 pounds there as we were talking.
Yes, he was born in Hale Center, Texas, between Abilene, Texas, and Amarillo, Lubbock and Amarillo, Texas. Educated at Texas A&M, educated at Baylor University. Served 2 tours of duty in Vietnam, First Lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps. I would like to turn it over to the American Ninja, and he can explain exactly what he's going to do here today.
American Ninja is coming in here now, and he will tell us exactly what he's going to do today. First of all, welcome to Texas All-Star Wrestling.
Thank you, sir. The first demonstration will attempt to break 8 bricks with the Japanese karate Shuto.
There you have it, ladies.
He got 7 of the 8.
7 of the 8.
7 of the 8. Now, I want to show you something that no American has ever attempted. The only other man that I ever knew that could accomplish this feat was a gentleman that you know very well. Now he's passed on by the name of Pak Song Nam.
Pak Song Nam. As Gary Hart now makes his way over, he has grabbed a large can. This is a tomato juice can, a 46-ounce can is what it is. It's full. Let me. This can has both ends in it, and it is full. Gary Hart is talking to the man. And now, Gary Hart, as Gary has moved away from us, the American Ninja is now preparing the can. And I think what he is going to do here is place the can up, and he is going to take and hit that can and blow both ends out of the can as he has now made his preparation with the brick. Gary Hart, if we could come back over here. He's going to try to knock both ends out of that can, right? It's loaded. It is a tomato can.
It's a cannon for tomato juice. He'll hit it with such pressure that the actual pressure of the juice hitting the side of the can will actually blow the ends out of a steel can just from the percussion of his hand as he lays it into the can.
Can you imagine what this would do if he'd hit another man?
could cause him serious damage. I don't believe anyone, as I said before, has ever attempted this other than Pak Song Nam, who was the All-Asian karate champion for 3 years in a row. Look at the can.
Busted the can.
Check it out.
Busted the can, blows both out. The American Ninja has knocked the end out of that can, both ends of it. Great pressure, and that just shows you how tough the American Ninja is. And I know you have, look at that, the holes, the leak, the can just coming out all over.
One more demonstration of Nukai, where he takes his fingers and he will literally destroy this melon. He will not hit it with his hand. He'll hit it with his fingers.
What is this martial art called?
This is called the Nukai thrust. The death thrust.
Ladies and gentlemen, now, Gary Hart has a watermelon, as everybody here in Texas, of course, where they grow a lot of watermelons, knows. And now he's going to do this with the thrust. He is not going to use his hand. He's going to use the fingers. Just the fingers and the thrust. He has the hand taped up as we watch the melon as he is ready. The Ninja now is ready for the thrust as he prepares himself with those fingers. We move in. Will the melon explode? What will happen? He is getting it positioned just like he would like. And there it is. Right through the melon. There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Is he everything I said he was?
He is everything and more. And if I was a professional wrestler, I would have to worry about the American Ninja.
Imagine this scenario. The right opponent, say his name is Big Bubba. Say his name is Scott Casey. Say his name is the one-man gang, a man that fired me. And the hand that you saw break 7 bricks, the hand that you saw hit a tomato juice can so hard that he blew the ends out on both ends, and the fingers curled into the throat. Who in wrestling today that I have mentioned can stand against the American Ninja?
No one.
A West Texas boy. His name may not be Funk, and his name may not be Von Erich, but in the very near future, you will all know that the greatest martial arts man in professional wrestling is not Kabuki. It is none other than Gary Hart's American Ninja. And remember, everyone I've ever presented to you over the years for the last 15 years, remember who they were, and remember what they were, and most of all, remember, you may not like me, but you have to admit that I have had a reputation for the very best in professional wrestling, and this is the greatest find I've had in many years. He's a Texan that works for Gary Hart.
Thank you very much. Gary Hart and the American Ninja. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. There's more exciting Texas All-Star Wrestling right after this.
There are lots of his fans who rent, but would rather own a Redmond manufactured home. So my friend Kevin persuaded Redmond to offer a $1,000 cash rebate to everyone who buys a Redmond manufactured home. No matter what home you choose, Redmond will give you $1,000 cash. So please stop paying rent, get over to your participating Redmond retailer now, and then maybe Kevin will let me down. Kevin?
So get your $1,000 Redmond rebate now.
From Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, weighing 245 pounds, the golden boy, Mike Zoldan. His opponent from Stomping Grounds, Kentucky, weighing 331 pounds, J.R. Hall.
the ring. He doesn't have Fantasy with him. You know where she is. She's back where she belongs as far as I'm concerned. He had a rose, and he took it out into the crowd and handed it to some lady in the crowd.
Well, of course, as far as I'm concerned, just like every American woman. They don't stick by their spouses, their husbands, their boyfriends. You know, that's a very, very, that's a terrible black eye on this country, you know. But I can assure you this is quite a contrast. Am I correct, J.R. Hogg and the Golden Boy? Some contrast, believe me. This is going to be an interesting match.
Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, yet to come today, Nick Kuniski against the Russian for the $5,000 challenge. I don't think the Russian has shown up yet. I want to remind all you kids also, wherever Texas All-Star Wrestling is held, it's only $3 general admission. What did you think of the American Ninja? He impressed me. He's more than I really thought when I first heard about him.
Well, of course, it is impressive, his credentials, what he did in his demonstration. And of course, when he busted that watermelon, the bricks, and the can of juice or whatever, that was impressive. But I want to remind you something. A watermelon and a can of juice is not Kamala.
Well, that's true, but I wouldn't want to get in there with the man.
Well, of course, it's going to take a lot more than the American Ninja or anybody else that I've seen in Texas All-Star Wrestling to stop Kamala. But make no mistake about it, I'm impressed with the talent. I'm impressed with the wrestlers in Texas All-Star Wrestling. They are top-notch contenders. But, of course, the General is always ready for all contingents.
In the ring, it's the Golden Boy against J.R. Hogg. The Golden Boy minus Fantasy as the hitman David Patterson came last week.
Quite a story.
That was. Scott Casey brought us the story earlier. And now the Golden Boy is against J.R. Hogg. Hogg had him down for a count of two.
Hogg's a pretty good size fella.
331 pounds. There goes the Golden Boy up and over.
Once again, you know, looks like J.R. Hogg's got things his way. Almost. Two and a half.
As you watch the Golden Boy bouncing. Oh, he goes over the top of J.R. Hogg. Cross body block. Down goes Hogg. Here's the count. It's 1, 2, and he kicks out.
Well, it's all right. Golden Boy really at it now. This is the like of wrestling that I like to see. The Golden Boy. Now he's got J.R. Hogg in trouble. This could be it. This could be a maneuver. Tremendous move by the Golden Boy.
Golden Boy.
Make no mistake about it.
Going back
you people call this man a sissy. You're making a mistake. He's a tough individual. He is tough. Look at that.
Guys,
Harley Race. Harley Race.
Here's the count. It's 1, 2. Oh, and Hogg kicks out. Hogg kicked out. The Golden Boy in behind with a face lock.
Hogg is a tough man. Was this an excruciating hold here? This hold is a tremendous wrestling hold. Oh, here we go. All right. You see, you have to fight. We live in a world where you have to fight.
There's a kick. Down goes the Golden Boy. Here comes JR in after him. Golden Boy using that head. Hogg slams his head into the turnbuckle.
Oops, reversal. He's got a hard head. All right. What an exciting match.
Forearms from Hogg. Here goes the Golden Boy, whipped into the turnbuckle. Hogg with a big splash.
I've heard about J.R. Hogg and his turnbuckle splashes. All right.
It's all over, I believe. Here's Golden down. 1, 2. Wait a minute. Golden got a leg over the bottom rope.
That's a veteran's move. And I'm proud of the Golden Boy. That is a veteran's move.
Elbow to the top of the head by J.R. Hogg. Here comes Golden, whipped into the turnbuckle. Oh, this time he gets both feet up. Down goes J.R. Golden, belly to belly, has him pinned. 1, 2. He has a leg up on the bottom rope. He had the leg up on the bottom rope.
Are you sure, Steve Sachs? Are you sure?
Yes,
what a victory for the Golden Boy. And that's the way you pull it out. That's the name of the game. And the tenacity that the Golden Boy has showed me is tremendous. Tremendous competitor.
The General Skandor Akbar. Here comes the Golden Boy right here. And Golden Boy, Scott Casey gave us the story on Fantasy earlier. And we would like to ask you, where is Fantasy?
Steve Sachs, Scott Casey doesn't know what's going on. This is a personal matter. It has nothing to do with wrestling. It ain't none of your business. It ain't nobody's business. I'll take care of it my own way, Steve Sachs. I'm going to tell you something. Let me ask you a question. If you were Fantasy, would you rather be the real man or half a man, Jack?
There it is, ladies and gentlemen, from the Golden Boy himself. Stay tuned, because the Russian and Nick Shiniski yet to come here on Texas All-Star Wrestling. Our wrestling jackets, just like your favorite Texas All-Star wrestler wears. 5 different colors: silver, maroon, black, red, and blue. Many styles to choose from, even with your favorite Texas All-Star wrestler's name embroidered on the back. Sizes for all, from children's sizes to adults: small, medium, large, and extra large. Texas All-Star jackets are lined and made of the finest quality material, custom made to your order. Be in style wherever you go with your Texas All-Star jacket. The jacket the stars wear. Texas All-Star Souvenirs has something for everyone, even me. Order today. Send only $49.95. Cashier's check or money order to Texas All-Star Souvenirs. Post Office Box 15377, San Antonio, Texas 78212-2798. Area code 512-736-6501. That's Texas All-Star Souvenirs. Post Office Box 15377, San Antonio, Texas. From Air Force Base, Austin, Texas. Friday, November the 29th at 8 o'clock. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give you some of the exciting matches today. More of them to be signed and announced next week. Our main event on the 29th, we'll have Killer Brooks and Al Madrill going up against the Cowboy Scott Casey and Big Bubba. The American force takes on the Japanese force. The Golden Boy will be there. The Russian Korchenko and other great stars. We'll tell you more next week. Advance tickets at the Rec Hall. That number's 479-3515. And don't miss Texas All-Star Wrestling, first time, Bergstrom Air Force Base, Austin, Texas, on Friday the 29th. With the new association of Texas All-Star Wrestling's Al Madrill and World Class Wrestling's Gary Hart have gone together to bring you the finest, and you'll see that at Bergstrom Air Force Base. Al Madrill.
What's the name of that place again?
Bergstrom Air Force Base.
What kind of guys they got there, Killer?
Fly boys.
My boys. Well, I'll tell you what, Big Hubba Bubba, you got that Spacey Casey with you. Well, I'll tell you what, that drugstore cowboy, we don't worry about him. Because Gary Hart and Al Madrill, baby, they got the biggest wrestling camp in the world today. And look what I got as a partner. Look who I got as a partner.
This is going to be it. So all you onion heads, you burr heads, get there early, you E1s and E2s. Don't be peeling potatoes or waxing the floors. Get on over there and see something. You know, I hear that the Air Force boys now are taking basic training on roller skates. That's too much. I don't believe that.
I'll tell you what. You heard what Mr. Brooks said. And Gary Hart and myself, we're going to be there. And we're going to take care of Bubba. We're going to take care of Scott Casey or anybody else they got. I don't care who it is, whether it's the American force or any other team.
So what, Big Bubba? You come there, and you bring that little drunk cowboy with you, and we're going to take care of you guys once and for all, and you guys are going to go down for the 1, 2, 3.
Weatherford, Texas, weighing 217 pounds, Jim Ward. His partner at 213 pounds, Rudy Gonzalez. Their opponents at a combined weight of 471 pounds from parts unknown, the reigning Texas State Tag Team Champions, the Hoods.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the president of Texas All-Star Wrestling, Fred Barron, has ordered that the Hoods must wear different color masks, and we're seeing that right here as they're in the ring. And that Scandal Akbar is because they've switched so many times. They look so much alike, and if they have the same color mask, you can't tell which one of them it is.
You know, Steve Sachs, one of my purposes of being here is to keep an eye on this team. This is a good, young team. Now, you say what you want, but I can tell you right now about just the opening glances at the Hoods that they are a tenacious team. A lot of tenacity, a lot of devil-may-care attitude, and you know, you couple those things together, Steve, and you've got some great competitors.
Well, the Hood with the black mask, up for cuts, Jim Ward. Ward's partner is Rudy Gonzalez. There's that side backbreaker as he drops him across that knee. Don't forget, still to come, the Russian and Korchenko. I have not seen the Russian yet. But Madrill promised he'd be here. We'll just wait and see.
I wish you hadn't said that name again, Madrill. Here we go again.
Right?
It bothers me. But, you know, every dog, every Mexican, every dog must have his day.
Ward kicks out. That's the Hood with a red mask now. I like this. I'm glad Fred Barron decided to do this because there's no way these guys can switch without the referee or somebody noticing what's going on.
But you must admit they are a skilled tag combination because they tag in and out. They know how to wear the opposition down. And, you know, this is the purpose of tag matches.
American Force, who are chasing the Hoods for the Texas Tag Team titles, are setting out in the audience. I saw them over there earlier for a couple matches. They're watching.
Well, doing a little scouting, I presume. But, you know, as we talked a while ago, the only way to be successful in tag team is to tag in and out, tag your partner in, tag your partner. He comes in, you go in, you come out, and you wear your opposition down. This is exactly what's happening right here.
There's a kick. Ward tags out. In comes Rudy Gonzalez. I know the American Force is watching to see how the different colored masks works because they know they're going to have to meet those Hoods with those different colored masks. Look at Rudy Gonzalez and the Hoods. Let's get out. They're really getting after it. Here comes Gonzalez, bouncing off the rope. The Hood's in front. Gonzalez goes over the top, trying to pull him down. He's got him down. Oh, the referee, the Hood, somehow hit the referee in the eye, and the other Hood comes flying off the rope. Now, this is the illegal Hood. This is a switch. Referee counts 1, 2, 3. Is hurt. He is holding that eye. Somehow the Hood got a finger into that eye.
Nevertheless, it looks like a victory for the Hood.
Well, the count was 1, 2, 3, but the referee is saying no, no, no. He's still holding that eye. And he's going to raise the hand of Rudy. He saw the different color in the Hood.
That's a victory taken away. They earned that victory, Steve Sack.
Oh,
they earned that victory.
They switched, ladies and gentlemen. The Force is happy as they leave because they saw that the different color mask makes all the difference in the world, and it will work to their advantage. Stay tuned because we'll be back with another exciting match right after this.
Would rather own a Redmond manufactured home. So my friend Kevin persuaded Redmond to offer a $1,000 cash rebate to everyone who buys a Redmond manufactured home. No matter what home you choose, Redmond will give you $1,000 cash. So please stop paying rent. Get over to your participating Redmond retailer now.
Now.
Time remaining from Yokohama, Japan, weighing 242 pounds, Ricky Fukuyuki. And his opponent from El Paso, Texas, weighing 228 pounds, the reigning U.S. heavyweight champion, Chavo Guerrero.
Well, the introductions there from Bill Merriman. Ladies and gentlemen, during that last break, we were handed an edict from Fred Barron. The Russian has not arrived yet. He was supposed to go against Nick Kiniski, and Fred Barron has issued to the Russian that he must appear here next week and put the $5,000 up cash, or El Madrill and the Russian will have to suffer the consequences. And the ruling issued by Fred Barron, Texas All-Star Wrestling.
The burning question is, has Al Madrill got $5,000 or has the Russian got $5,000? In summation of this exciting hour, you know the reason I'm here. I've stated my reasons. But I'm going to operate. This is going to be the base. Texas All-Star Wrestling. Devastation Incorporated is coming. The General Kamala. And don't forget Hacksaw Higgins.
Well, you're looking at Chavo Guerrero, the U.S. heavyweight champion against Fuyuki from Japan. One half the Asian Tag Team champion with his partner Kawada. You see Fuyuki holding that top rope. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, kids under 12, only $3 general admission wherever Texas All-Star Wrestling is held. All you kids, come on out. I know you're going to enjoy professional wrestling with Texas All-Star Wrestling. Japanese wrestler looks tough.
Oh, he is horrific. He is tenacious. And, you know, of course, Chavo Guerrero is a second-generation wrestler. Comes from a long line of wrestling. This is an exciting match. You've got two great competitors, Chavo Guerrero and this skilled Japanese terror.
Chavo Guerrero has the fingers of Fuyuki raked around his eyes. Guerrero drops over and sets down on the bottom rope across the ring. The referee is still suffering from that eye where he's injured at the Hoods, but it turned out that the Hoods didn't win anyhow in that earlier match.
Pile driver.
Here's the pile driver. Oh, Fuyuki, pile drive, Chavo Guerrero, and it should be all over one. No, he kicked out. He kicked out.
Kick out, Steve said.
There's that reverse kick. Oh, what a kick. Guerrero covered up.
Japanese boys are skilled because it's a brutal training for these boys. in their country. Here we go. All right. Oh, the backward suplex. This has got to be all for Chavo Guerrero. It's got to be it.
There's another count of 2 as the referee is still holding that eye. He was injured in that eye. It's been burned earlier a few weeks back.
Fighting.
There's that big kick. Big.
Look at I can say what a tremendous match this is.
There's that reverse suplex. 1, 2, 3. Belly to belly suplex.
He came back. What an exciting match.
Thank you very much for being here, Stan.
All-Star Wrestling. I'm very, very impressed.
And ladies and gentlemen, here comes Chavo Guerrero now. Chavo, a nice, exciting victory for the U.S. champion. Chavo, Fred Barron is giving you the match you want. When you meet Al Monroe the next time, there'll be a special referee. There'll be no time limit, no disqualifications, no countouts. There must be a winner by pinfall or submission, and I know that's just what you want.
Let me tell you something. There's all kinds of people coming here. You got a Gary Hart. You got a Scandal Esbar. But I am the United States champion, Madrill. And in order for you to beat me, you're going to have to beat me 1, 2, 3 in a game that's called wrestling. And I have forgotten more wrestling than you would ever know. And I don't forget too much. And I got cases from such a referee. So, brother, you're really going to have to go to your bag of tricks and pull this one out. Because there must be a winner. No disqualification. And if you want to become the United States champion, you're going to have to do it like I did it. Right in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. I'll see you Sunday.
Thank you very much, Chavo Guerrero. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, next week, the $5,000 cash must be posted. The Russian will have to be here or else for Al Madrill and Gary Hart. Till then, Steve Sack and Rapido Rodriguez saying so long.